What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So you saw the title. Now this is every Parfums de Marly fragrance that I own personally, and I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite because, spoiler alert, there is not a mediocre fragrance among these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bottles that I have. Well, one's a 30 ml decant. Really, it's like a 30 ml bottle technically. Yeah, it was kind of a challenge. I mean, the top 3 were pretty easy, but everything else, the other 9, it was really difficult to rank these because I don't know if you're a fan of Parfums de Marly. I would think watching this video you are, but damn good house. Really, really good fragrances. And when you get them from discounters in that anywhere from low 100s to upper 100s range for different bottle sizes, I think they're really good mass marketed niche. So let's rank them. Stay tuned. Starting with my least favorite at number 12. Actually one of the better compliment getters of the bunch, funny enough. But I mean, getting a compliment isn't what's going to make me like the fragrance the most. So, because I'm always wearing them for me, that's number 1. We are talking about Pegasus. So Pegasus, it's a fitting chrome metallic look because it's a cool metallic smell. Creamy, milky and lactonic, a bit floral, powdery. A little feminine leaning for some, but man, it's got this like ice cream cooling effect to it as well. Not minty, but icy cool type of thing. It's very strange for being a milky almond fragrance. But it's definitely this cool, cold metallic, cold metal, cold steel, if you will. It smells fantastic. It's been a while since I've worn it. Now, admittedly, if I had Pegasus Exclusif, which I've had a decant of, I've just kind of procrastinated getting it. I'll probably grab it this year. I've been slowly grabbing some more PDMs as of late. I've literally, 1, 2, 3. I've grabbed 3 in the last, like 2 months, month and a half, something like that. So, I'm slowly adding. Last year, for me, it was to, get the Xerjoffs I'd been wanting to get. This year, I'll probably get the rest of the Parfums de Marly's I've been wanting to add to my collection because there's not many more that I feel like I need to have. But this is one that was one of like my first 3 or 4 that is worth revisiting, is worth going back to. And if you like powdery almond fragrances, you'll probably like this. And every single fragrance in this video is a good performer. But this one's kind of monstrous. It's Parfums de Marly Pegasus. Now, in at number 11, this is an interesting one because this is probably the best for the office, honestly. It's clean and musky. It's a little black pepper spiced, with a powdery yet soapy floral iris. It is Galloway. Clean white bottle for a clean white fragrance because it's a clean fragrance. It's very fitting. The color scheme very much suits the scent profile in this situation. It's just that white porcelain look. It's a really good fragrance. It's a really good fragrance. Again, bar soap type of stuff with black pepper. And again, some powder from iris, not for everyone. A light sweetness, not a sweet fragrance. I wouldn't call it a sweet fragrance by any means, nor would I call it an extremely woodsy fragrance, but there's a light woody nuance as it starts to dry down. It's more about musk. Musk, pepper, and iris are the main things you're going to get from this one. At least that's the main things I get from it. Another well above average performer, 8+ hours in longevity. A less is more kind of fragrance in an office space, but out in the world, spray accordingly as you see fit. If you want to destroy your nose, spray it 30 times. You want to kind of be like me with my spray routine, 5 to 7. I kind of keep it in that moderate range, what I feel is moderate. Funny enough, from time to time on my scent of the day shorts videos, if I do like say 5 or 6 sprays, I get the occasional comment that's like, oh my god, 2 sprays, why are you bathing in your fragrance, in your cologne? You can always tell who's not a frag head who's in the fragrance community and just happens to end up with that on their shorts feed, because you're really into fragrances. You're watching a Parfums de Marly ranking video, right? When's the last time you sprayed something that's kind of moderate on the projection? Twice. Let's be real with one another. Most of you watching think I'm a sissy sprayer at 5 to 7 sprays, but there's people that think I bathe in a fragrance at 5. So just perspective, if you will. So this one, I do think less is more in an office setting, but again, out in the world, spray as you deem necessary. Nice and clean, inoffensive, it's Galloway. Number 10, this was a recent pickup, and I got it for a really good price. I bought it unboxed for $95 for a 75 ml. I've been putting it off Finally got around to getting it. I think my decant might even be handy still. It is not. I used to have my decant up here, but Parfums de Marly Godolphin. Super, super edgy leather. It's of the Tuscan leather profile. It's not as heavy on the raspberry note. You get it. It's clear as day. It's not as sweet. I don't get as much woods. It's more earthy, edgy animalic, spiced leather, light touch of the florals. And again, you get the hit of raspberry, but it's not as raspberry forward as something like a Baccio Immortelle or something like that. Definitely really good quality. Man's man type of profile, I believe. Very, very masculine. Wife's not a huge fan of this. I got the infamous "that smells like something you would like" comment, which means I'm not a fan. I'll tolerate it though because I know you like it. For those of you that are unaware, when my wife says "that smells like something you would like," it means she's not a fan, but she doesn't hate it, and she gets that I like it, so it's cool if I wear it around her, you know? Because you don't want to wear something your significant other finds terrible. I'm watching Overture, man. It's always such a disappointment. I've been told, don't wear that around me, it's awful. And I think it's like one of the better fragrances in my collection. It happens, right? It happens. It's unfortunate. But if you've never tried this and you're a leather accord fan, a more rough and tumble type of leather, not that soft, supple designer bag kind of leather, you might want to look into this one. It's a phenomenal performer. It's Godolphin. Let's talk versatile and fresh. I mean, you really can't go wrong here. I think it's one of those springtime in a bottle type fragrances. Green like the color of it, green like the name. It's Greenley from Parfums de Marly. Green apple, fresh greens, woods. Sweet as in fruity sweet, but not like vanilla bomb kind of stuff. Man, this is so good. It really is. And I have a great clone of this fragrance, French Avenue Aether from Fragrance World. The cedar is cheap. I was going to say cheap and cedar together. Cheater. That's the only real difference I find. You get a quality gap here, but as far as the profile, you can tell there's a big difference in the cedar note on that one. This is clearly a much smoother fragrance. And look, if you want the original experience, most of the time the clone ain't gonna do it for you guys. I'm just saying, you can get the original. But if you want an almost experience, you can go that route. But I'm super thrilled to have this one. I tend to only wear it around the springtime, maybe once or twice in the summer. If I'm in the mood in the fall, sure. I think it works up great in all three seasons: spring, summer, fall. But personally, I like to keep my spring fragrances in the springtime, my summer fragrances in the summer, and so on. Got to have a method to the madness that is a massive fragrance collection, in my opinion. And this is one of their most versatile, safest fragrances you can try. I highly recommend it. Another above-average performer. This one's not a beast. We got Parfums de Marly Greenley. Now, probably the most, I guess, non-mass appealing of the bunch. This is the one that's a 30 ml decanted bottle. My dear friend, may he rest in peace, E.J. Wells of Happy Land Studio had decanted. Now, this was when the 75 mls, because before the 4.2s, there was only a 75 available of Layton Exclusif. And for a while, like a year and a half or something like that, maybe even 2 years, all that existed of this fragrance was a 75 ml bottle. And he decanted me 30 ml of his 75 ml bottle because he just wanted me to have. He's like, "Oh, you're going to love this one since you like Layton." He was right. The problem is the wearability. I tend to wear it around Christmas time because it does have that, it's not as Vicks Vapor Rub minty like, but it has that minty apple powder, spiced cardamom, woody vanilla. Like all of Layton's DNA is here with a more animalistic and funky oud, darker, smoky element to it. Very regal fragrance. I believe there's a little bit of castoreum in here as well. Gives some of that funk. And I know you hear beaver glands and you're like, oh, beaver shit. Who would want that? I get the off-putting sound of that. It's the gland. It's not actual shit. Okay? Because some people misunderstand that. I've seen some wild comments when this gets brought up. But this is not a safe blind buy in any way, shape, or form. But what a work of art this fragrance is. Monster performer. Less is more. 3 sprays. It's all around you for hours and hours and hours. 3 to 4 sprays, way more than enough. You fill in rooms. It's, yeah. So good, too. So good. The reason it's lower, below middle of the pack is the wearability factor. I don't wear it that often. I've had this 30 ml decant for like 6 years now. There's a dent in it, but That's because of I had a lot more situations to wear it in the past than I do currently, so I don't reach for it that often. It's more so pulling the cap and sniffing it, but it is a true work of art. One of the most impressive fragrances from Parfums de Marly, in my opinion, is Layton Exclusif. The newest addition to my Parfums de Marly collection, I literally wore it last week. It is Perseus. Of the family of fragrances like Terre d'Hermès Parfum, Terre d'Hermès EDT, Eau Givray, you'll see it get related to a lot of that stuff. Rindy type of bright citrus, a little earthy, woody touch, a little hint of spice hiding in that background. Super rindy type of citrus, though. Oh my god, it's so good. So good. Reminds me of fragrances like Brioni's Eau de Parfum Eclat as well, you know, because of the muskiness, the grapefruit. I get a little kind of vibrant smokiness, pink pepper smell, sweet spice in that one, whereas I don't even know if that's in this, but I could relate the profile for sure. This is an amazing fragrance. I recently picked it up. It's one of their newest releases, and I absolutely love it. I had a decant first, and it was a no-brainer that when it started to get to a more reasonable price at discounters in that 170 range, that I'd grab a bottle. And it's exactly what happened. Above average performer. This one's not a beast. It's a fresher fragrance. You can't expect monstrous performance all the time out of fresh fragrances. But 8+ hours longevity. I would call it moderate projection and sillage, you know, kind of average, maybe a little better than average early on, but average stuff overall with its, you know, output, but the longevity is definitely there. This is a phenomenal fragrance. I highly encourage you try this. That sun is like ramping up. Jeez, the exposure done skyrocketed. I like to use the natural lighting as best I can, you know. I literally don't have any extra lighting on. It's just the natural lighting. Oh, man, it's so good. If you haven't tried Perseus, you should. There's going to be redundancy to a lot of the fragrances that I mentioned. But I think this is the best of everything I listed. All those Terre d'Hermès flankers, even over Eau Givray, believe it or not, which I love me some Eau Givray. And I have the Parfum as well, and EDT is a classic. And Brioni Eau de Parfum Eclat's my favorite Brioni fragrance. So I just love the profile, so I guess it was a no-brainer that I would get Parfums de Marly Perseus. In my opinion, probably their best signature scent-worthy fragrance. I think if you're looking for just one to wear all the time for every situation, and it will excel in every situation, Sedley's the fragrance you're looking for. Very much blue. The bottle is very fitting, the bottle color. This is minty citrus, a little creamy. You get some ambroxan, kind of up the freshness and the potency. Some fresh spice. It's musky. It's woodsy. There's a light sweetness here. Oh, but that minty meets creamy citrus fresh smell at the top. Lavender. It's a little soapy, but not too much soap, but very lavender based. It's a citrus aromatic. Meets aromatic fougere, kind of like modern aromatic fougere with the synthetics. It's so good. Deceptively powerful too. This stuff trails like crazy for 8+ hours. When I first got it, I was like, it's like a 5-hour fragrance. Now I was going nose blind. That ambroxan was getting me. I've learned over time that the seriousness of nose fatigue that comes with these fragrances, especially one with ambroxan, noticeable, noteworthy ambroxan. But it trails. You'd be surprised. You get a compliment 6, 7, 8, 9 hours into wearing this thing, and you're like, I can't even smell it anymore. Doesn't mean others can't. Highly versatile. Fresh meets gentleman meets modern. Well done. Kudos. Let's give a soft clap round of applause for Parfums de Marly with this creation. I do think it's that good. They have a Lattafa Mahir Legacy Silver. It's a close representation. If you're looking to spend $20 and get a similar experience, sure. But it can't touch the real deal. It just can't. There's a few of these where I'd say it's one of them ones, save up and get this. This is worth owning. If you're going to get one Parfums de Marly fragrance, and you want versatility, Sedley's the one. This next one, a few years ago, before we moved to Colorado, more than a few years ago, we went visit my in-laws in Colorado like 2 or 3 months before we ended up moving. And I was doing a little series with a little selfie stick holding my phone, doing some reviews, individual reviews, walking around the neighborhood. And one of them was Parfums de Marly Herod. And in that video, I had an 8 ml decant that I had probably 4 ml left. and I dropped it at the end of the video and broke it on the sidewalk. And I left it in the video, so any of you have ever seen my Herod review, there you go. And since then, it was like, eventually I need to grab it. No big deal. I know I want a bottle of this. And here we are like 4 years later, and I just got around to buying it like 2 months ago. So good, though. My God. Spicy, smoky, earthy, sweet, very, very woodsy. Cinnamon pepperwood hits you up top with this nice smoky tobacco earthy accord. You get a light vanillic sweetness. You get more vanilla as it dries, but man, this is a very handsome tobacco fragrance. Oh, this is so good. So likable, high compliment factor. A lot of people's favorite tobacco fragrance. At minimum one most people would rank top 3 or top 5 in their collection when it comes to tobacco. High level wearability, high level likability, really good performance. Not a monster performer, but an above average, I would call very strong fragrance. Man, this is so good. I've worn it a few times since I got it in the last 2 months, and maybe I need to throw it back in the rotation this week, because yeah, it's that good. It cracks my top 5, you know, easily. One of the better tobaccos money can buy that's super likable. At number 5, we got Herod. Next, I wore this one last week. It is my wife's favorite Parfums de Marly fragrance on me. No surprises, because there's 2 profiles she likes more than any others. The Silver Mountain Water DNA and the Fierce DNA. We're talking Percival. Speaking of blue. So, a little fruity, fresh and spicy, musky, woody. That's simple. Very synthetic. Highly synthetic, chemically synthetic, upper tier, you know, higher grade synthetics, but a nose fatigue savage. This stuff will beat the dog shit out of your nose, and you'll think it's weak, because trust me, I hear that, oh, you must have an older bottle, bro, because newer ones, no, historically, from the very first bottle ever produced to the newest bottle money can buy, they all beat the fuck out of your nose. Nose fatigue, savage. But 3 to 4 sprays is filling rooms and trailing everywhere, and you're getting 8+ hours easily, and I mean well past 8 hours in longevity. High, strong, upper tier compliment factor with this fragrance. This is, oh man, so good. If you've ever liked Fierce, Mont Blanc Legend, any of them, and insert name of Middle Eastern fragrance that smells like it, that a bunch of you are typing that comment right now. Because I literally had it happen, I think, yesterday. Oh, if you like Percival, try this. And it was some Lattafa fragrance. Like, no. Let me just wear this. No. Let me do the arm. No. Let me do it like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Maybe it'll set in more. No. I'm not going to buy the $30 clone when I have this. Because this is that good. This, again, I go back to, there's several from Parfums, let's say a few, from Parfums de Marly, where, sure, they got some good clones. Pegasus, identical 1-to-1 from Al Haramain, Royale Stallion. I got this before I got that. Probably wouldn't have got this if I'd have got Royale Stallion first. So, I want to make sure to let you know both sides of my argument here, because there's a clone of this that I have that is like quality on point, scent profiles 1-to-1. It's like a carb, like, I don't, it'd be a lucky guess if you could tell me which is which. Even though there's only 2 choices, it'd be a lucky guess. Whereas with this, I have several of the Mont Blanc Legend ones. I have Fierce that I never wear. I just have it. And I have several. I got Mercedes fragrances that smell like this. I got a few Middle Eastern ones that smell like this. And to be honest with you, aside from like Mont Blanc, a few of the Mont Blanc Legends, I don't wear any of them, because when I want that profile, this is Golden Frieza, or I think in the new manga, which is just getting English dub, Black Frieza, I think, is the newest evolution. I used to call it Golden Frieza. For those of you Dragon Ball fans, you know I'm talking final form here. This is the one. This is the one. So, if you have this and you love it, don't buy a clone. Why? Just wear this. Now, if you want to save some money, yeah, there's a bunch of good ones out there from designer brands that are super affordable. Like I said, Mont Blanc and Mercedes-Benz have some really good options, like the Mercedes-Benz Man and Mercedes-Benz Man Intense. They smell like Fierce. Really good versions, too. Mont Blanc Legend EDT and EDP and Legend Blue. Legend Blue smells like minty this. Fantastic. If you want to save some money, there are some really good options. But again, I say, no, I'm just going to wear this because it's that good. Percival. Next, there was a time that this was my favorite. When I had less PDMs, this was my number one. It's now my number 3. But it was my number 1 for a while, for a few years. Fruity, very spicy, resinous, sweet, a little smoky, super strong. Carlisle. Big fan of Carlisle. Haven't wore Carlisle in a while. That rhymed. Just smelling it through the cap. It's thick. This is a thick boy right here. It's a tester. That's why it's got the cap on the back. We got notes of... Where's the English? So that's not English. Okay, here we go. Top notes of saffron, green apple, nutmeg is what they put. Heart notes of tonka bean, osmanthus, davana, and rose. So there's all your sweetness, a little earthy floral. Vanilla, patchouli, opanox, resinoid. That's why it's nice and resinous. Got all the sweetness, a little hint of earthy, but a bunch of spice and apple at the top. You get plenty of it too. And it is thick. It's a thick boy right here. That's why it radiates so well off the skin. I've never sprayed this fragrance more than 4 times. Never, ever, ever. Once I sprayed it 4 times, and I dialed it back to 3. That's how strong this is on me. I've clocked it at 16 and 17 hours before in the past, and just still going strong off the skin. Sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. This one will get you. High compliment factor, easy to like. For being a more resinous and thick fragrance, it's still super easy to wear and like. Just cooler weather. It's a cooler weather fragrance. It is, very, once again, very thick. Not good for humidity and high heat, but man, this magical stuff right here. Oh my God. And no, it does not smell like red tobacco. There's no tobacco here. The sweetness, I guess, is kind of similar, but maybe 40, 50%, because I'm sure somebody goes, oh, it just smells like red tobacco. Oversimplifying. No. There's just as many differences as there are similarities. There are some similarities, but it's not exactly the same. I disagree with Carlisle. Wore this one last week. Wife's a big fan. I'm a big fan. This is the main one of them ones. This is my prime example. When it comes to Parfums de Marly, get Layton. High compliment factor, super likable, a unique fragrance. And before you go saying, but this smells like it and this smells like it. Yeah, they smell like this. Nothing smelled like this before this. This is what everybody's copying. Now, there is a Vicks Vapor Rub mentholic thing about it, which I like. I always have. The way the geranium comes across, it's super gelatin-like minty, Vicks Vapor Rub. Some people can't stand that. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it, and you smell it, you can't unhear it and unsmell it. Oh, but that cardamom, apple, vanilla, and woods, it's that super minty geranium. It's so good. It is so good. It radiates off the skin. It is strong stuff. This is a lot of people's favorite PDM. And I say it every time I talk about it, and I'm going to say it again. This is one of those fragrances that there are some really good clones. I have some really good clones. Detour Noir is really good. It's a more woody take on this. What's another one? Irrelevant. Let me make my point, because I've been long-winded in this video. This is one that by the time you maybe went through 3 or 4 of the fragrances that are clones that are similar to it, to find the one you think represents it the best, that you think smells the best, you could have just got a 75 ml of this, and it's a really strong fragrance. You don't need a lot of sprays. This is worth saving for, guys. Because I say these things because some of you watching are like, why do you keep talking about clones? I don't care about clones. A lot of my audience does, and that's why I'm referencing it, because I'm not just speaking to one specific demographic and interest in every video. I'm speaking to 3 to 4 range, really. There's like 4 different type of people that watch fragrance content on the internet. Those that just like stuff like this or niche or better. You know, some niche don't even like this, you know. So I'm talking to the affordable side. I'm talking to the mid-level. I'm talking to the snobs. I'm talking to the connoisseurs. Got to talk to as many viewers as possible at once when you're making content. You know what I mean? It's so good. So freaking good. I wore it last week. It was an absolute treat that is hard to beat. If I could recommend one, and it's not even my number 1, it's my number 2. This is the quintessential like poster child for the brand, in my opinion. And if you're just going to get one fragrance that I deem the most special, I guess, of the bunch, it would be Layton. And my scent of the day yesterday. That's why there's a gap right here. It goes right there in the line for the weekly rotation. Today I plan on wearing Creation E Parfum Cologne for my birthday. For those who didn't know, turned the big 4-0 today. And it's the weirdest, most oddball fragrance I've ever smelled from them, and that's why I like it. This is my favorite. I had a sample, a carded sample first, knew I needed a bottle, eventually got a bottle. I've had a bottle for years. Kalan. Smells like if you took a racquetball, okay? They make red racquetballs, blue racquetballs, green racquetballs. I just say red because bottle's red. Red rubber ball. A racquetball. Squeeze freaking blood orange on it, sprinkle some black pepper on a pile of wood chips. Kalan. Isn't that weird? Yeah. That's what this smells like to me. It's weird, but good weird. Different weird. Special weird. Really strong. Another one, 4, maybe 5 sprays. You could really do 3. So good. Another tester on. See the little triangle sticker. Top notes of blood orange, black pepper, and spices. There you go. Heart notes of lavender, orange blossom, absolute cashmere wood. Base of moss, tonka bean, white sandalwood, dry amber. It is extremely warm and spicy, and on occasion you'll see people talk about Baccarat Rouge 540. I get the faintest, maybe 15-20% relation to this. The light undertone of the sweetness, but it's way more its own thing than it is anything Baccarat Rouge, trust me. This is such a unique, over-the-top masculine fragrance. I love it. I love it so much. I wore it yesterday. It was an absolute joy. And that's what makes it number 1 over what I deem to be the even more likable by the masses. What a 1-2 combo right here. This is my 1 and 2. They're very different. I wear them around the same time of year. I wear this one a little more often throughout the year sporadically. I only wear this one when it's cold because it's just so warm and cozy and spicy. Over the top warm and spicy. But man, my 1-2 combo, my top 2, to me, is hard to beat. Obviously, it's my opinion, but if you've never tried this, give it a try, because you're going to see a lot of polarizing opinions across the internet where people say it's trash and garbage and it's bad and it's all these different things. And then, like in my Sin of the Day shorts video yesterday, you can see people come out the woodwork. I love it too. I don't understand. It's the most overhated fragrance. Oh my God, that one's my favorite too. I love this about it. Very polarizing, very split, which means you 100% can't trust me or the negative side. You got to trust you. Because just because I love it and it's my favorite, you might think it's trash like some others do. Or it might be middle of the pack for you. Or it might be bottle worthy. It might be skippable. If you don't give it a sniff, on skin, not a blotter, not a test strip, on skin and wear it around, you won't know. Because for me, the best they've ever done for my taste and my collection is Kalan. Well, that is ranking all 12 of what I have from Parfums de Marly, from technically worst to best, but there ain't nothing bad here. Pegasus was number 12. This is a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful fragrance. One of the more complimented of the bunch in my experience, honestly. Just some good stuff. Absolutely explore the House of Parfums de Marly. Get some samples in your life. If you want to check anything out, I'll try to have samples, decants, bottles, links to as much stuff, YouTube affiliate stuff, as well as other links by the names of the fragrances down below if you want to check any of these out. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. We'll catch you on the next one.